And we are live. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining. I'm gonna mute this. I have this turned on. So let me mute this and I'm gonna share it in YouTube for those that haven't got notifications turned on. And yeah, I sent a tweet out asking what people wanted. So I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna be doing in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to look at Twitter and see what people have been asking for. And hopefully it's not something too difficult. Otherwise it'd be like, oh my God, it's like, difficult at this time of night to do stuff. I know I'm only messing. Okay, let's see. Let's just write this tweet. We are live. Come join. Well, come join me. Okay, I am live. Come join me. There we go. Stick that in. Perfect. So, who have I got? I have Masood. Hi, welcome. So I basically put out on Twitter, if I get enough responses, I'll go live in 2 hours. So I got loads of responses and I'm live. So thank you for that. And really interesting what people have been asking for. I'm just going to quickly read through this. So yeah, a couple of things people have asked for: the best Nuxt modules. That's an interesting one. Maybe I could tackle that first because that's kind of like really easy. But there's another one that's got 10 likes that I'm going to have to get to. Oh, there's one with 5, slimming down app sizes. Actually, Tim Bennix did a great video about that. So I will leave that to him. I'll share a link with that later but I think someone also shared a link in that, but yeah. Hi, Kim, welcome. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Dun, dun, dun. Did that work? That did not work because the wrong one. There we go. Sharing screen. Yes, excellent. So some people said modules. What are the best Nuxt modules? So we have a website, modules.nuxt.js.org, and that makes it easier for you to find what modules you want. So you can literally like just search for them by putting in, I don't know, say you want CSS, for example, and you'll get like, something to do with CSS, Purge CSS, for example, Tailwind CSS. So you might say, yeah, but which one is the best? I don't know which one to use. Well, they're all different and we can't really decide for you which is the best, right? Hey, I'm going to say those names wrong. Tevfik, and then I've got Javelin the Knob, and then I've got Yuli. Wow, some strange names there. You're making my life difficult saying all these names. So yeah, here we go. How do we decide what is better, right? We can't really say one is better than the other because every one of them are different. So that makes it a little bit, but you can kind of look at the stars and you can say, well, Tailwind CSS has more stars than full page, for example. I'm not picking on full page here, but just to give you an idea that you can look at the amount of downloads it has, and that can kind of give you a good idea. And you can also see who's the maintainer. So you can see this one, well, that's Sebastian, right? So obviously that's going to be a much better maintained module than another one from some person you don't know, for example. So that's another thing to look out for. Like this is one of the Nuxt maintainers. So okay, this is going to be a good one, for example. And then there are some brilliant other people who've made some amazing one, like, this, let me have a look, this guy here, 18 stars. So some people are just starting out and they've got, great. So again, this is clickable. You can just click in. Sometimes if you've got one here, you've got to clear those filters. So if you've done a search, we'll clear the search. And yeah, you can like search, for date. You got moment, day.js, date FNS, DevTools, ESLint, TypeScript, internationalization. Hello, Edouard. So yeah, and hi, Noor. Content module is in here as well. Yes. I'll tell you what I'm going to go over, and then we'll see if the people who ask me for what we'll have like a vote. We'll have like a how many emojis we can get in a short space of time, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do, right? But just quickly, to go over these it's basically in here and just kind of like go through them, and then you'll see what modules we have. And if you click on them, for example, let me see, CMS, we've got quite a lot here. And you could go to Prismic, for example, and you get great documentation. You can read about it and see, is that exactly what you want? And then you can say, let's have a look at Nuxt content, and you can read that and see if that's what you want, right? So we've made that very easy for you, and that's modules.nuxt.js.org. Hi, Sam. Any idea when Vue 3 will be supported? Yes, next year. It's December next week, and it won't be ready for Christmas. So yeah, next year we will be supporting Vue 3. Okay, cool. So this is the moment you've all been waiting for. You need a module for validation. So we don't always need a module for validation. I would just recommend Viewlidate from the Vue core team, from Damien. Viewlidate. So this one is fantastic, and you can just use it as a plugin. Hi, gift. So yeah, I would recommend just add this as a plugin to your website, and you can use it. It works with Nuxt, not a problem. So that will sort you out for validation. Okay, so people in Twitter said, let me find my tweet. The two at the most, so we had a couple of people asking for content. If you want content, put as much emojis in there as can possibly be seen. If you want me to go over content right now in like half an hour. So half an hour of content, show me some emojis. Dun, dun, dun. And the other option, which is really strange and has had 10 likes, so 10 people have asked for this, is, and I'm not going to know if people don't put emojis, so I'm not going to have a clue. Then I'll just decide myself. So the other one is server rendering, static sites, and SPA mode. So they're your two options, right? So tell me what you want to see. Which ones? I'm going to give like a couple of Edward is like really showing some balloons there. And there's some fire there from Oluole. View formulation is also very interesting for validation. Yes. View formulate. Okay. Yeah, that's good, Sam. I didn't use that one. We've got some love hearts and some daisies from Gift. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. So dun, dun, dun. Doesn't really help. I don't know. Should I do content or server? I don't know. No idea. Dun, 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 dun. View formulate is best. Okay, cool. If you say so, German. I've only used Viewlidate, so I can't make a judgment on that. But there's quite a good few. You don't have to have a module just to do things. You can also use a plugin. Right. So I'm here. You're here, Jose. Yay! Jose is here. Okay, Jose is the one that put that in with the server rendering and the static sites and the SPA mode. So I will cover that because it did get the most likes and because Jose is actually here. Hi, Randy. Hi, Max. And someone put a question in there saying, let me go back and find it. How old are you? You want to know how old I am? Seriously, Masund? Terrible. You should never ask that to a woman. But there you go. I know. I actually don't care because age for me isn't an issue. But yeah, I'm actually 41. I know I look 25 and I feel 25. So that's kind of totally cool. But yes, we're getting a lot of things in at content. It's coming into a little bit of battle between server, static, and content. I might have to quickly cover both of them. Oh my God. Right. Okay. So we got thumbs up all over the place, and now it's getting, okay, next time content. Oh, you're so nice, Edward. You're so nice. Content not important. Okay, let's do this. What they've asked for. Okay, we can do content next time, and I can do like a full hour and make it even more valuable. Right, so what are we going to do then? Let me show you something simple. We'll just SSR rendering. Okay, I've got it. Yeah, these are all going in for the SSR rendering static sites. So in our documentation, I know you're going to go, oh, the documentation, I know. But seriously, the documentation does make your life easier. And if you get used to using it, it will seriously help you, right? And I promise you that you should look into it, right? So commands and deployments. This is the first thing I would look at when I'm here, right? You have a list of commands, and it depends on the target that you're going to use. You've got two targets, right? You've got server and static. And when you're setting up your Nuxt application with Create Nuxt app, is going to ask you those questions, which target do you want? And at the time you're kind of going, I don't know, I just want to build an application, right? So don't worry too much about this because you can change it with just one command. Thank you, Sam. So yeah, if you're starting off, I would say just go target static, right? Because it's going to make your life easier because you're able to then deploy to Netlify, to Versal, to, a lot more free serverless hosting, right? So if you do target static, it's going to make your life easier. If you then later need server because you're building a production application and they need it on a server, or it's a big massive e-commerce site that needs to get that server running all the time, then you can easily just change the server, and I'll show you how to do that. So I would go static for those reasons, okay? Remember, if you're going for target static, you can host for free. I love free. Free is great. And like you can say here, right? So if you forget, you just have a look, oh, I want to use Netlify to deploy my application, therefore I'm going to use target static, right? So you can kind of like, you know, look at it from different angles. So you get different commands, right? You've got Nuxt dev. Both of them have Nuxt dev. So if you're running Nuxt dev, you've got your development up and running. Perfect. We all get that part, right? And this is where it changes a little bit, right? You have Nuxt build for server and you have Nuxt generate for static. So what are the differences between build and generate? So build, basically what it's doing is it's building your application. And maybe I show you what's going on. Shall I do that? Let me see. I'll do it on my application because I've got an application. This is my actual website, right? So I have target static in here, right? So with target static, what that means, and that's really, really small. So do I have a VS Code folder? I do. And let me put my window zoom level to 3 so you can see it a bit better. There we go. That's beautiful. Now I need like reversed binoculars so I can code. So target static, right? If you put target static in, and don't worry about all my code, I have a lot of messing going on here, a lot of stuff. So once you have target static, it means I can deploy to Netlify, I can deploy to this. It's ready, and this is the command I need to use is Nuxt generate, right? So if you have any questions specifically at this, especially you, Jose, who brought this up, you know, just throw them in the chat and I will be reading it. So I can basically, I'm using yarn, but you could use npm run or whatever. So yarn generate is going to actually, it's going to generate my application, right? It's going to generate everything. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Don't worry about that cloud anything. I changed my cloudinary stuff. Maya, getting warnings here. Okay. So basically, while that's building, you can see what's going on there. I'm just going to go back to the documentation while that's doing that. So the two commands I have are Nuxt generate and Nuxt start. So what's start? Start means I can actually see a production version of my application. So why would you want to use Nuxt start and Nuxt dev? So sometimes, for example, you might be in the dev environment and everything works perfect and then it doesn't work in production, right? And you're like, but it worked in dev, right? And some of that could be maybe purge CSS is playing with your CSS and has removed something. So the build is sometimes different to the dev, right? So this is a great way of testing your application before you actually, you know, push it live. So running Nuxt start will actually see it's running from the build, it's running from the dist folder as opposed to from the dev folder, right? From the server folder. So here you can see, and I'm just going to scroll up. This is all my Webpack stuff. If you have a question, throw it in the chat, and I will do my best to understand them. Right. So let me close that off there, and let me just close Nuxt config. You don't need to see that, and let's get that all the way over there. Beautiful. So we got our oh, that goes really messy on full screen. That's interesting. So there's our Webpack build going on, right? So we can learn about Webpack. We can read. I've got a build size too big because I've got loads of stuff just thrown in here. So that's terrible for my performance, really bad. And you can see that I have full static generation activated, right? So I know it's full static and it's generating my output directory of dist, right? And then it's generating the pages with a full static mode. So I know I'm using full static, which is the latest of Nuxt, so make sure you update your version if you haven't. And then basically, I've got all my pages. These are all the pages that have been generated, right? So what has this given me exactly? So this has given me a dist folder. Let me see if I can find it. Let's close a few of these off. And here's my dist folder, right? So if I go into my dist folder, I now have a folder for every single page. So for example, my blog, and now I've got like Cypress setup, right? And if you go inside here, it's got an index.html. And this is like the HTML. This is my full blog. It's got all my content in here, right? It's got all my styles. It's got all my HTML. It's got absolutely everything. So this is generating everything. And it's really easy and fast, right? Oh no, little warning, go away. There you go. So yeah, everything is in here in this dist folder. So then basically, if I wanted to deploy this, I just need to deploy the dist folder. That's it. I just need to take that folder. That folder is the only thing I need. My whole application is now in that folder and just works like out of the box, right? So that's the cool thing about this. The that's how this full static works. Now there's a couple of little extra things to here, and let me show you something really cool with full static. So if I go to, let me go to content, and let me go to an article, for example, and let me just go to the date formatting, right? So if I go in here and let me see if I change the date to 2021, for example, right? So simple change, and I press save. So now my date has changed, and I'm going to run the generate command again, right? Because I need to generate my site again because I changed one little simple thing, right? And that's when you kind of go, oh my God, you got to generate it again. And wow, did you see how fast that was? Like seriously, did you just see how fast that was? Like that's just generated just there in what, like 2 seconds? Like literally, not even. So that's because this is full static is generated, and what it's doing is it's skipping. Can you see that there? It's skipping the Webpack build as no changes are detected, right? So it basically said, oh, you just changed content. So I didn't need to process all those images and all the JavaScript because the JavaScript hasn't changed. It's just the HTML, and I'm just like throwing that HTML into those files again. So it's just like changing like the payload of the, you know, the JSON that's being built to build all that content and stuff. So that makes it really, really simple, fast. And look, it parsed 22 files in 0.2 seconds. So that makes it super, super performant, super fast, right? And that's just working out of the box. You don't need to do anything. You throw it into Netlify, you build it, and it's bang. It's just like you're built in seconds, right? So can static also be used for PWA app? Well, yeah. So this is like has a PWA inside it. I don't know if that's what you mean. So the PWA is running at the same time, which makes it even more performant. And what else can I show you? This has a preview mode. So this is the interesting thing. I want to show you this because it's actually really cool. And I'll get back to those other questions. I am watching those, but they're kind of a little more working with the other thing. Let me see, where have I got? Right, so my website here, let me just go to debbie.codes, right? And if I inspect, and let me go to network, and perfect. Let me go to the conferences, for example, and let me just refresh. Okay, so you can see in here where things are coming from, and it's probably not going to show me anything because of like PWA is installed. So let me just go to workshops, go back here. So I'm not getting anything because of all these. There we go. Thank you. So this is like basically coming from, yeah, so it's fetching my conferences, right? And everything is being fetched. Every time I go to the client, I'm going and I'm fetching from this payload folder, right? So on client-side navigation, I'm not fetching that pre-generated page. I'm fetching from a payload.js file, which is how it makes it super fast. So in here, this is like, as you can see, this is code that just is unreadable. So it's like, oh my God, what's going on in here? But you can see like the slides URL, the title, application testing in Vue.js. So you can see that's all in here, but it's in a payload.js file, right? Now that's how it works as a static site. We're reading all that full static is in the static folder, right? It's in that, all those are coming from payload. So the really cool, interesting thing about this is I'm not calling my server, right? It's full static. I'm not making any calls to my server. It's all coming from that payload file. Yeah, you can see it there. Debbie.codes_nuxt static 16063 workshops payload.js. That's where that's coming from. And if I go to the conferences, it will give me exactly the same thing, and it will call that there as well, right? So that's how that works. Now, what's really cool is that we can actually have a preview. So let me do it in the workshops. Let me go in here. Because I've already set this up, it's going to work, and I'll show you how to do that. So you can go preview equals true. So if I click that now, and you see here, now I'm actually calling this server, right? So now I'm calling that GraphQL. I'm calling Debbie.code's Heroku app. That's where my API is, and I'm calling that GraphQL. And I can actually now go in and I can inspect the data. Right now I'm live on this website, right? And you can see that that's actually now coming from here. So the cool thing about this is I have a live preview mode, even though it's a full static application. So if you've built something and then you want someone to check it over, like a big boss or something, you can work on it and you can send them that actual, that preview equals true and say, right, this is what's changed in the API. Shall we deploy it? Is this right? Is this looking good? And let me see if I can show you how to do this. And you can actually open this in your own, like you don't have to just look at my screen. You can actually just go debbie.codes and inspect it. And you can actually go with that, it's a question mark, preview equals true, and you can put that in and you can check it out, because this is yeah, this is like real. And my code is open source as well, so you can check that, but I'll show you the code in a second. So I'm gonna, let me see if I can open Hasura and make a change and show you how it works. Debbie.codes, Debbie. I've got to find my Hasura app, Hasura, Debbie.codes, Heroku app. I never remember it. Heroku app. I should like have a bookmark. There we go. That looks like it. Okay, I'm just gonna put it on the other screen so you can see it. Let me go. Okay, so this is my my application, and I'm gonna add like a new workshop, right? Just so you can see what's going on here, and then like you can see it live. So if you are watching, if you have opened my my website and put the preview equals true, then you're gonna see these changes live in the second, right? So I'm gonna just take this one and I'm gonna duplicate it, right? And I'll go into Hasura on another day. But this is Hasura is amazing. So I'm going to clone this and I'm going to change the name. So the last workshop I actually did was with Ben, and the title was Production Grade View, and the topic was View, and the place was remote. I know, terrible. One day. The image, so let's leave that for a second. It was Ben, and the URL, let's remove the URL because we don't have a link to it yet, and the year was 2020. I hope this now works, because otherwise it'll be like, oh my god, you showed us live and it doesn't work. And let's change the date. Was 2020, and it was yesterday. I don't even know what date is today. 25th? Is it 24th? Yesterday was the 24th. I think so. There we go. So I'm going to save this now, and we'll fix that later. And let's save. And now let's go back to debbie.codes and let's refresh. And and there we go. Look, there's Ben, right? I messed it up because the image is wrong, because I didn't add the image to Cloudinary. And I've got Ben, production grade view, one day remote, and I'm seeing that. But if I go to debbie.codes without the preview, this is going to probably have it cached. There you go. So that one does have not got Ben, right? So I don't have Ben, and here I've got him, right? So that's basically how that works, is that you can see this and you can open it in incognito mode and see it. Now the thing is, I've actually set up webhooks. So if you, in a few minutes, that's going to deploy, right? And then it's going to like redeploy, and it's going to be there twice. So I've already saved that twice. So if that happens, then, you just go in here, and then you can just, like, if I put in insert again, I can see that again and stuff, right? So because I've set up webhooks, that's basically how that works. And you can see I've got application testing in view. I've got that twice. Oh no, I did 2 workshops with them. That's why they're twice. Oh, forgot about that. Right, so yeah. And then I've got Ben in here. So I could probably leave that there and I'll fix the image later, but that's going to deploy on my site any moment. And as you can see, I can, make those requests in there, and I can see everything in here, right? So that's basically how that works. There's Ben, right? Okay, so that's the cool thing about working with the static mode, is because you've got that preview mode as well. So how do you set that up? Let me see, where's my code? So to set that up, let me just, I'll show you in a couple of seconds some more stuff of that. The preview mode is in a plugin, and this is on the website. You can find this, right? Preview.client. Simple as this: export default async function, pass in query, and enable preview. If query.preview, enable preview. Simple, right? So that's really, really, really simple. That's all you need to get the preview working. And then I can't remember if I need to set up something in my Nuxt config. I need to import the preview plugin, right? So there you go. I need to import that in here so that I can make it work. And that's it, right? So that's really, 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 really simple to do. So yeah, preview. And if you need to find that on the documentation, that is in here in the static mode. Let me just search for preview. Preview mode. and there you go. So just copy that and put it in, and then you've got it working, right? So that's cool. That's only when you're using target static, remember. Okay, that's cool. What happens now if I decide I don't, oh, and I should show you something really cool as well. So I've already set this up to Netlify. So I got it set it up on, Git push and stuff, but let me see if I remember the commands. Surge, I think it's called surge dist. So if I do surge dist, because I've already got an account, let me see. Yes, this is gonna like give me this. This is a terrible one. Crabby nail. Surge, you want me to be a crabby nail? And you can just change this to live preview, for example, right? And that's gonna give me this domain, and it's like actually just gonna build that in a second, and it's gonna give me that. Oh, I'm running as Debbie at Nuxt.js, a student. I'm a student. Oh, lovely. So, so I can just take that code, and as soon as that's deployed, I can just deploy it and share it with someone as well, right? So it's really simple to deploy your application when you're using the static mode, because it's free, and you can use Surge, and you can use Netlify, you can use Versal, and you can use so many, right? That takes a little bit longer because it's building everything, but it's still not actually that long. I'm going to go through those questions in a second. I just want to see this. It's like magic. I love it. And then I'll show you how to quickly change it. So yeah, this is now live. Site is published to live preview. And if I go to, there we go, live preview, I'll get my site again, right? On this strange URL called live preview, which you can all see for yourself, live_preview.surge.sh. So you saw how quick and easy that was, to deploy the website, right? And there's my workshops with Rolf and everything else, right? So that's easy to deploy, right? So that's static sites. And what happens now if I want server? So I've decided I actually don't, I need to, for work, I need to put it on a server. So the only thing I need to change is, actually I just need to get rid of that, right? Because this is the same as this. So if I just put target server, that's the default. If I don't have any target, then I have target server, right? So I'm going to leave that there because I'm going to change it again in a second. So by having target server, now I have to run the yarn build command. I can't run the generate command. So I'm running the build command. It's now building for a server. So the difference between the build command is that I don't have a dist folder anymore. Now it's going to have one there because I've already made one, but I should have deleted it first to show you. But yeah, you don't have a dist folder. You've got like the underscore nuxt folder, and you need to kind of like, it needs to build on a server. So I can't even show you here how it works. I can go in and show you the code. I'll do that in a second. But you can't like just, throw it up to Netlify. Now I can run Nuxt start. I didn't do that with the dist folder. I should have, but yeah, this is the same. I can now see my server version of the application, and I can see that on the local host, and I should have run, yeah, there you go, localhost 3000. I have it open, so I can now see this in running on server mode, right? And that's just showing you basically your application as if it was in server-side rendering. So that's basically how that works. And then if I, I can go into my .nuxt folder, and let me go over here a little bit. I'm ignoring the chat. I know you're saying, Debbie, you're not listening to me. I am. I'm seeing you, Masood. You have so many questions in there. So yeah, in here, basically, this has got everything that your app needs to like just, create itself, right? So it's going to like build itself based on this. And, I have it like a client one, and I've got a server, and I can go in here and I've got all my icons, my server, and I've got the pages, and you can see like in my blog, I've got the slug, but it's all Webpack stuff, right? You can't deploy that. It's like, how on earth can, I can't read that. It's like, it's all, oh my God, what's going on here, right? Because that's why you need a server. You need a server to create them pages on the server. And that's the difference between the dist folder, between static and between the server. The server, you cannot read it yourself. You need to put it on a server. The static, you can read it, so you can put it on static hosting. I hope that makes sense, and that kind of explains it a little bit. Let me have a look at the questions. Do you suggest to deploy a single page application that is not static in Netlify with Yarn build or in DigitalOcean with PM2? I have absolutely no idea because I've never used DigitalOcean. I know Alba has used it and she's done some work with DigitalOcean. It's impossible to use everything, right? So I'm using Netlify. I haven't even used Versal, actually. I know, terrible, right? We do use Versal in Nuxt as well. So we have some of our applications already deployed on Versal, but I haven't actually manually gone in and created a Versal account, but I will do. And I should create a DigitalOcean account and check out the PM2. When it comes to Jose, if you have any questions as well, because this is what you wanted, let me know if I'm covering and have covered everything that you wanted. The other, what you asked was about the single page application mode, right? So let me put that back to static and spell it right would be good. And what you meant was now, because before it was called mode, right? Mode is now deprecated. We don't have mode anymore. We have SSR. So SSR is either false or it's either true, as you can see here. Look at that, beautiful. So SSR is true is the default, right? So we always have SSR true. Now you might get confused here and think, but I want a static application, right? So that doesn't matter because you still need a server to build it, like, you know, to have it get its first build done, right? So if I put SSR false, I'm now getting client-side rendering only. And what's the difference in that? It means nothing is going to be generated. Actually, I can show you that. I can actually show you that. Let me stop that and just do yarn generate. So if I generate this now, I'm now generating it as a static serving. So I want to put it on Netlify, but I could have done server. That's also fine. And let me pull that across. Well, I can actually just close that so you can see it a bit better. So if I'm going to do SSR false, I'm going to have no server-side rendering. This is crazy thing going on here with the full scale mode on your terminal. Maybe I should put it back to this size. Terrible, right? VS Code, you need to fix that. So you can also see here server-side rendering target server. Right, let me go down. So you can see here I've generated routes, right? Now you're kind of thinking you've generated all those routes. Oh, I didn't save that. Let me save that. So this is my SSR with true. So this is what happens when you've got server-side rendering true, right? And you can see it. I had target server up there. It's too much going on to see. But there's all those done out. So I'm going to now do that again, and you'll see the difference, right? Remember blogs. Look at all that blog folder. Let's see what's going to go on now. Are we going to get the same because we've got SSR being false? And we'll see in a second. So let me look at the questions while that's building. Can static also be used for PWA apps? Or I don't know. I think so. Into page work code, but use Vuex not work. I can use Vuex. Okay, you use Vuex. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a question or comment. In PM2, I deploy, but when Nuxt start, probably because it's server. No, you don't deploy with Nuxt start because Nuxt start is for starting. You deploy with Nuxt build, I'm guessing. But I don't know. I haven't used PM2, so I can't really comment. So right, you saw we generated there, and we got less routes, right? Where's all my blog? Right? Yeah, where's all those blog things, right? They're all gone. I've just got a one blog folder. So I have now only got client side, which means if I go and I've got a dist folder, right? Generating output directory dist. It tells you here where to go for your output directory. And now I've got my blog page. Let's go in there and I've got this. Oh my gosh, where's all my blog? Where's all my Cypress? Where's everything, right? So can you see the difference here? That it's generating an empty page that then JavaScript is going to have to go and replace itself and fill that out for you. Whereas before, that dist folder had all that content. And that's the main difference. When you're using SSR as false, you're getting only client-side navigation. And you might want that. You might have a dashboard and you might think, well, that's all I need. I don't need it to be generated every time. And if I make changes and stuff, you know, on the server or on the API, then it's going to be seen because it's client-side. You know, it's different, right? But remember, if it's client-side, you've got no SEO. You got less performance benefits because it's a little bit better because we've got some shell here of the pages, but it's still got to do that all on the client side. Whereas here, everything's built, everything's ready. So if I just get rid of that, bam, I'm super performant now, and that makes everything so much easier. So that's just something to keep in mind. And let me go back to to here and deployment targets, and that will tell you everything about in here, and rendering will tell you everything about the server-side rendering or the static sites or client-side rendering only. So what else is in the chat? Then response this.name, this.email, this.password, catch error, console log error, can't use Vux for create to table. I'm not sure what you're asking there, Masood. If you have like a specific issue, I would use the Discord channel, because then you can like paste your code in and someone can help out properly. How are we doing? Did I actually explain that properly? I kind of hope I did. If I didn't, then, you know, just let me know. And I think that's all I'm going to cover for now. We're going to do content another day as promised. So yeah, come back. I don't know when we'll do it, maybe another day, tomorrow, whatever, and we'll do content then. So yeah, remember you can change it easily. Build your sites. I would go static and server-side rendering true, and then you can change it with like simple commands as soon as you have decided, you know, just to change it or whatever. And remember, the preview mode is pretty cool. All your doubts are clear. Yes, Jose, thank you. That's great to hear. I'm glad I covered that. And remember, it is in the documentation, so just go back and check that out at all times. And yeah, next time we'll do content, I promise. And then we'll do some Hasura as well on another day as well. So just kind of watch out for that. And that's me done. I'm gonna go drink beer now, everyone, because I think I deserve a beer. Yes, I need beer. I like beer. So seriously, thank you all for watching. And thank you, Edward. And anyone's questions I didn't answer, just reach out on Twitter and let me know, because I might kind of like, you know, sometimes I've got 3 screens and I'm watching them all at once. So just like, you know, say hey, or send me suggestions on Twitter, and I'll definitely cover them on live, and, you know, hope for the best and see if I do. And that's it. Have a great evening, everyone. For those in America, if you're doing Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe and have fun. And remember, life's about having fun. So keep having fun. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy my beer. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. And that is it. Me over and out.